Hi everyone, I'm Grace from Gardening for Joy, and I continue my series of talking about summer flower pressing. Today I'm going to focus on leaves. Leaves are an important part of your pressed flower art, and so I thought I would talk about pressing them and some of the different leaves that I kind of found in my garden. So here we have just a variety of different leaves. Leaves are super easy to press. Probably one of the easiest things to press, at least in my experience. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Okay. So Dusty Miller. Many of you are, I'm sure, familiar with Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller is a really nice flower for adding to arrangements because it holds its color, right? A lot of leaves will lose their color. Dusty Miller is the opposite. It really retains its color, and I really love it. So I'm just going to, I clipped a little stem of Dusty Miller leaves, and I'm just going to clip them off individually. Yeah, I have one piece of pressed flower art that I did 3 years ago, and I did it with some Dusty Miller leaves, and those leaves still look perfect. So that's what I really truly love about the Dusty Miller leaves, and why I add it as an annual to my flower garden in the summer. So let me just put that aside. So again, similar to the flowers, you're going to place your leaves upside down, right? Just place them upside down. Make sure you flatten them out. Make sure they're not tucked under each other. Make sure there's nothing underneath them. I tend to alternate them. But you want them to press nice and flat. Sometimes it's not quite that easy, but you do your best, right? And then here's a little tiny one. So perfect, right? Love those. So Dusty Miller. The other one that I really love is this vinka minor. It's usually will be a trailing plant in a lot of container baskets. So yeah, you'll find this a lot. It tends to be a little bit invasive when you just let it grow wild outside. I have it growing wild in my yard, and so I do know that. And with this, you have two options, right? You can press it exactly as it is in one whole stem here, and that's really very pretty, and I think that's what we'll do this time. And so you just do your best to get the leaves laying down as best you can. But I love these in to add accents to different art that I produce. So a really nice one. I don't necessarily need such a long stem, so I'll just snip that. We'll lay it down. Let's see, and I have one more piece here. So with this one, I think what we'll do is we'll just snip off the individual leaves, because I love doing this too. This is perfect, because then they're all laying exactly the way that I want them. Or with this little piece, I'll just press that as a little piece. Really pretty too. So you turn the leaves. Oops, this one I kind of got a half one. Turn them upside down for pressing, just so that they can get as flat as they possibly can get. Okay. The other plant that I have in my yard is red twig dogwood. It's the variegated variety. Now, one thing I want to point out when we talk about leaves, you have to examine your leaves. You want perfect leaves, just like you want perfect flowers, you want perfect leaves. And so as I look at this little bunch here, I can see this leaf isn't quite perfect, right? It has a few little black spots on it. And so probably not a leaf that I'm going to want to use. And such a pretty leaf, right? So I'm going to snip each of these off. Only taking the ones that I think are perfect. So even this one, you know, while I might be tempted to take it, it's got one little black dot in the corner, which will probably prevent me from using it. The other ones are really pretty. And then I have another bunch here. And I'm going to just examine them. They're really come in different sizes. They are susceptible to disease, and that's why, you know, you have to be, you know, kind of picky. At least in my yard, they're susceptible to disease. So I'm really picky with the ones that I choose. And got a few more here. We'll just clip those off individually. And I look for, you know, if there is a little bunch that I might want to just press by themselves, but didn't really find that. So these will all just get pressed individually. So just I'll lay them down, make sure they all have enough room, right? So they don't bump into each other, don't overlap each other. Perfect. Okay. So the last leaf I'm going to talk about, and I have to tell you, I'm not sure the exact name of this. I bought this at a garden center just to fill in with my geraniums in one of my boxes. But look at that leaf. How beautiful are those leaves, right? So pretty. And so again, I'm going to look for the perfect ones. I'm going to cut them off. They're heart-shaped, right? Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So when you're looking for leaves, you know, look for unusual leaves that have interesting shapes to them, because that's what really adds. So this leaf has a cut in it. I'm not going to use that. This one has looks like a flower dried on it. I won't use that. But this one is perfect. This little one is perfect. And this little one is perfect. Okay. See if I have enough room here to squeeze these all in, right? And again, I'm just really, maybe I wouldn't put so much in one if I were doing this, but just to show you how to lay these out and press them, I'm doing that. So there we have it, leaves. Leaves are a really important piece of your pressed flower art, so don't underestimate them. Look around for interesting leaves. You know, I find myself just examining plants as I'm walking around. A really nice thing, you know, leaves are they're just nice. You know, they add a big touch to your arrangements. So we'll just cover these up. Put some cardboard on top of them. Perfect. Okay, let me just share with you, a piece of art that that I made, you know, and you can see how I use, you can see the accent pieces in here where I use the leaves around the corner. Another technique that I used in this particular print was I used the individual petals of flowers. You can see the yellow petals in here. Just really, really pretty, right? And I used individual petals around the corner. So I love this one, right? It's a little bit unique with the flowers coming out and around the side. And then it's just a perfect circle otherwise. So again, really pretty. I love this. So there you have it. the series on flower pressing that focuses on leaves that you find, at least leaves that I found around my yard. So thank you for joining. I wish you luck with your flower pressing. Feel free to leave any comments, and I will see you next time.